Hello, and welcome to Nosy Bystanders Live. I am your host, Chief Nosy Bystander. Yes, I'm wearing a jacket. I went to Trader Joe's and some stuff, and I'm just running late. But I got a couple more things to say about that Real Housewife of Potomac reunion show, specifically Wendy. I want to get to Wendy because she made a fool of herself, and now she's trending on Twitter. She's been trending since yesterday, but now she's really trending on Twitter because a lot of people were able to catch up with the episode or the part 3 of the reunion. And yeah, so we're going to be going over tweets, and we're going to go over her statement that she had made to Candice in the midst of Candice reading Giselle for filth, as she should have. Okay. And then we're also going to get into GloRilla. She had a concert. And I think I talked about this earlier today. I might have talked about this earlier today, but GloRilla had a concert um, in Rochester, New York, that was quite disastrous. So we're going to get to that too. But first, before we do all that, let's see who's all in the building. Okay, let's see who's all in the building. One moment. Everybody sliding in late. What's up, Stephanie? Hello, Shug. Hello, Callie. Hello, Nikki. Hello, Brenna. What's up, Trish? Says good evening, Chief. Good evening. Hello, Quanda. Hello, Amber. Hello, Shaba Wilkerson. What's up, Cookie Woods? Says my poor cousin. Hallelujah. Can't catch a break. That's right. That's if you guys didn't know, GloRilla, her middle name is Hallelujah. So yeah, cousin Hallelujah just can't catch a break. First she lost a wig, and now she got a concert and someone lost their life. Hello, Lexi. Hello, Bougie. Hello, T the little Gemini. How you doing today? She says, hey, everyone, and Chief, hey. Hello, Greer J. Hello, Cammy on the go. Hello, Kelly. Hello, Soothing Zen Sounds. Hello, Shan. Hello, Triple Leo. What's up? Samantha says, hey, Nosy Fam and Chief, hey. Hello, again, Quanda. Hello, Gigi. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Jerica. Let's see if anybody from Facebook. Hello, Jacqueline. All from Facebook says, hello from Maryland and Facebook. Hello, Broderick. How you doing today? Hello, Suli. Hello, Half Crazy. Hello, Yvette. Hello, Veronica. What's up, Bow Lady? Hello, Melody. And Shaw says, "Hi, everyone," with the heart with the heart eyes. What's up, Double H? How you doing today? What's up, Sheree? How you doing? She says, "Hey, cousins. Hey, Chief. I'ma stay awake this flight." Ciao. What's up, Desmond? Yeah, I was just talking to you. What's up, Erica? Hello, April. Hello, JJ, Nisa. Hello, is it Lana? Lana Logan? That's a very smooth name. What's up, makeup lover, mama? How you doing today? If I missed you, I apologize. But let's get into the Real Housewives of Potomac. These raggedy bitches, because I'm really tired of them. And their season has gone on too long for me, and I'm not feeling it. So let's get to them. I bookmarked some of the clips and I want to play them. A bit of them are a bit long, but I want to get to them. Now, we played this clip earlier in the early show today. We're going to get into more detail now. Okay, so let me get the clip ready. Volume up, please. Turn your volume up. And don't ask me if the volume's up. It's up. Okay. It's up. Okay. We can only do it once. It's up. All right, let's go.
Going to bat an eyelash.
Wait. Okay. Right. That's a little far.
No, it's not. No, it isn't.
Let me just stop her right there. Okay. Let me stop you right there, Wendy, before you have something else to say. Because, first of all, you're a dark skinned Black woman. You obviously understood the conversation they had about colorism a couple of days ago. And now all of a sudden, poof, your brain has completely emptied from your left side of your ear. And now you're getting dragged across Twitter and all other forms of social media because you're an idiot who still doesn't understand the conversation about white privilege and proximity to whiteness, and how some light-skinned Black women or some mixed women, some mixed race women will use their proximity to whiteness to perpetuate white supremacist tactics, like throwing rocks and hiding their hands, or having other people do their dirty work, or sling people's names through the mud with absolutely zero evidence to support those notions. And just because of their proximity to whiteness, they don't really have to explain it. Because why should Giselle have to explain the lies she spews? For what? It's Giselle. No, she should. And the fact that you're defending Giselle proves Candice correct. That she's literally allowing other people to do her dirty work, including dark-skinned women. And she still didn't get that. Like, right didn't even get it, was feeding into it and didn't get it. Now, some of y'all in the comments said that she's just trying to keep herself on the show, which I can totally understand. But also at the same time, I think it goes a little bit deeper than that. I think she actually believes that Candice is in the wrong. Like, you just want to get your choice words. Let me just get back to this clip. Before we get to the next clip, let me read some of y'all. I'm just sick of these fucking women. I am. I'm just being for real. I'm just so fucking sick of these women. It's like they scrape the bottom of the barrel for the worst personalities. For the worst personalities. They're like, this person seems toxic and unhinged. Bring her on to the show and give her a platform. It's sick. And Bravo plays into that. They know that. They know that that is a issue in the Black community, colorism. And they just let Giselle and Ashley just get away with it. Like, come on. Like, come on. Let me get some of your comments from Ray Bishop. What's up, Ray? Says, throw Ashley away. I understand Wendy's point, and I think Candice subsequently reply allowed Candice to say it in a more eloquent, understanding way. Yes, this from Lexi Glow says, I mean, she spent the season coming for that woman's and her husband. And while some of her read had me grabbing my pearls during it, I think she was fed up with the attack. Yeah, I think so too. This from Yvette says, I agree. Wendy really disappointed me. Wendy is a smart woman, and it's like this flew right over her head, completely over her head. This from Nisa says, Wendy needs to be drugged for filth. This is why they needed a moderator. Hell yeah. This from Jerica says, Wendy wants to be like y'all on this show. She do. She do. This from JJ. JJ says, you see how Candice caught the message and changed her delivery? This from Sheree says, Candice did nothing wrong, and no one would believe I'd be agreeing with Candice. Child, this from Post-Op ATL says, hell yeah, they scraped the barrel. It shows with every different city ends up with a scamming felon racist. Let's get to this next clip.
About it was a wrong situation. I felt uncomfortable. It's a wrong situation, and he was wrong. Are two different things. I'm entitled to my feelings.
No one is saying that you're not. When you're mixing your
conduct allegations.
She said,
"Sit up here.
You're a garbage." She said, "You're a garbage child." I can't get over that. I'm sorry. I just keep playing that on repeat. Like, child. Just a mess. Just a mess. Let me get some of your comments. This from Jerker says, can I call in? But call in where? Let us know. Giselle needs to go. Giselle needs to go. Giselle, like, what part? I'm trying not to cuss, but she's making it real hard to not cuss. She's making it real hard to not cuss her out. Okay. She's making it real hard. The fact that she keeps inserting herself in other people's marriages is just shock. I'm just shocked to chagrin. This from Coco says, Candice better fin a way to excrete all of her anger she has for Giselle, because it's just going to affect her health, not Giselle's. Could be, but she had to definitely let it out. She did. This from Nola Barr says, Giselle don't give a damn. She sleep good. She do. This from Yvette says, I feel Giselle is embarrassed. And instead of admitting she was wrong, she had to ride it out. Yeah. That's why she sat so quietly, because she's just letting everybody else defend her. And Wendy, the biggest disappointment. I want to get to some of the tweets. About Wendy, because the tweets are going to say it better than I can myself. Someone says that Mia lies the entire season, and Wendy out here making herself look really fucking stupid. As she is. I think they were touching on both points. Somebody says Giselle's proximity to whiteness allows her to get away with a lot of ish that someone who looks like Candice or Wendy could not. Y'all, y'all know exactly what Candice meant, and I'm happy she didn't backtrack. That lady literally painted Chris as a predator. Somebody said, I'm Team Wendy, but she absolutely failed Candice in this moment. In my opinion, it gave the viewers and the cast a reason to continue to look at Candice as an overreacting emotional brat. Candice was absolutely correct in what she said, and I'm happy she stood up for her shit. Exactly. Because here's the thing that I don't like about these producers. You have to have a villain in every season of every show. Now, the villain, protagonist, or whatever, antagonist can change throughout an entire series, but apparently they wanted to end it on a high note and make Candice out to be the villain. And the only way to make her out to be a villain was to force Wendy to pick a side. Wendy absolutely picked the side of Giselle. She did. She did, which is crazy to me. Which is completely crazy to me. Somebody says, I don't think Wendy failed Candice in this moment. She actually gave her space to slow down and clarify what she said for the dummies in the back to avoid the backlash. Every point she made was valid. And Giselle sat there like a statue and ate up every single word. I want to get some of your comments. This from Nisa says, Giselle gives her gives her neck kiss. Not the gizzard neck. This from JJ says, Wendy protected Candice's career outside of the show and people mad at it. LOL. All right. Okay. This is from Nola says, Giselle acts like a sociopath. Giselle acts like a woman who's hurt because she ain't got nothing else going on in her life because her marriage ended tragically. This from Jacqueline says, I still don't know why Chris wanted to connect with Giselle. I guess to clear things up. Right? I think that's why he sent the DM. He said he didn't want to send it because he didn't want to look like he had did something wrong. But at the same time, though, he knew like he had to send it so he can get some clarification from Giselle. I think that's what that is about. This from Jay says, Wendy did not pick a side. Where do y'all hear that? It's obvious. It's obvious. I mean, that could be your opinion, but to me, it was quite obvious. Of course, she stepped in and told Candice, oh, well, can you just, basically clarify that? Woo. She didn't give space for her. She should have sat there and shut the fuck up is what she should have did. Okay. She didn't, the statement didn't need clarification. I think that's what people are forgetting. What she said the first time shouldn't have been clarified. The fact that Candice clarified it, okay, touche. She clarifies it, but she didn't need to. And she didn't need Wendy to help her do it. She said what she said. The end. That was just an added bonus to this third installment of this garbage TV show. This from Pink Dynamite says, I agree. Wendy wanted Candice to stop and think. It was a beautiful moment. Are y'all okay? Are y'all all right? Because I don't think y'all is. Are y'all all right? Because what part of that are y'all not getting? It's literally like you carrying an ice cream cone and someone holding your elbow like, I'm just giving you support when you don't need it. Like, okay, I can carry this ice cream cone alone. It's not quite heavy, but why are you grabbing my elbow? I don't need a brace to carry an ice cream cone. It's going directly into my mouth. I'm going to deliver it there. She didn't need that. Wendy did. That's the part that you guys are failing to understand. Wendy didn't need to come in and say, hey, she don't got to clarify nothing. If you're not Black and you can't wrap, I'm not saying you, Pink Dynamite, but just people in general, and you can't wrap your brain about colorism, then it's not the conversation for you. Because I'm tired of dark-skinned Black people having to explain colorism to, bird brain, light-skinned people or BIPOC people or people who are of lighter complexion. We shouldn't have to keep explaining that. If you ain't got it yet after thousands of years of people trying to understand colorism, it's not the conversation for you. You need to go ahead and take a nap. Okay? It's not the conversation for you. All right? There's no need to clarify. There's no need to clarify colorism. She said what she said, and there was no need for Wendy to give her a brace to carry her ice cream cone. She could carry it on her own. Okay. And I think that's the part that that's going over y'all heads. Okay. It's like trying to explain racism to white people. It's 2023. If you don't understand racism yet, that's your fault. Okay? That's your fault. And if Giselle don't understand it yet, that's Giselle's fault. Because I clearly remember doing this live stream earlier today and everyone and a mama coming in Giselle's defense talking about, oh, her dad was a civil rights leader. Then she shouldn't have had to explain it. If your daddy is a civil rights leader or civil rights activist from the 60s and 70s, why should she have to explain it? Didn't your daddy teach you that? You grew up with the nigga. Or do you need another woman to explain to you your proximity to whiteness and why what you're doing is perpetuating systematic racism and white supremacy? Come on, be for real. This from Coco says, the reality show needs a makeover. It's time for a different kind of seriously. The fact that we're still having a conversation about colorism is ridiculous. You either know it or you don't know it. If you don't know it, that's your fault. Moving on, right? Next person, next set of scenarios, next scene. But it's like, why are we still having this? Like, the fact that they even had to have a conversation about colorism blows my mind. The fact that why do we have to have a conversation about colorism? Giselle, Ashley, y'all some old birds talk about, oh, I just didn't quite understand what colorism is. And benefited it your whole life, but still couldn't get it. Okay. Child. Ugh. This from Amber says, I wish Chris didn't send the DM. Me too. I do too. I wish he didn't. This from Nola says, are there any stories about how she was as a first lady? No. And I wish there were, because remember, he ran a church in Baltimore. I forget the name of the church. I forget. I think there's still videos on YouTube. He ran the church in Baltimore when they were married. And they separated by the time he got to New Birth in Lithonia, Georgia. So I'm not sure, but I would really like to know about it. I'd really like to know how she was as a first lady at that church. I'd really like to know. I would surely I would like to know. This from Sheree says, there were tweets showing season 1 reunion where Ashley pointed out that Giselle and Robin's whiteness, and Giselle agreed that she could, but didn't pass. Didn't pass what? Who ran the church in Baltimore? Jamal Bryant did. When he and Giselle were married, he ran the church in Baltimore. What was the name of the? Actually, I think I could look it up. Give me a second. Let me pull it up. Is this it? Because I used to watch his sermons in Empowerment Temple. That's what it was called. It was called the Empowerment Temple. Okay. Yes. I had to pull up this video from Roland Martin, but yeah, that was the name of it. It was called the Empowerment Temple Church in Baltimore. That was the name of it. Whew. It was a long time ago. Yeah. Yeah. Empowerment Temple. Yes. Yes. Yeah. So that's where he was. I don't really know how him and Giselle's dynamic was there, but I'm sure it was just some I'm sure it was just some. I'm sure she was just messy as fuck there, child. She never was with him in Atlanta at New Birth. She wasn't the first lady in New Birth. He went to New Birth after they separated. So they just weren't together. I remember I told you guys I've been a member of New Birth Ministries, the online church, since he got to New Birth, and I never, in all the sermons that he preached that I watched, I never saw Giselle there. I didn't even know he was married. I didn't. I watched a couple of his sermons at the Empowerment Temple, but I just still don't remember seeing Giselle. But again, I just thought he was a single person. I never thought he was married. And I mean, I just never thought that. So mm, maybe she was just like sight unseen. She was just one of those type of women. They just wasn't like, she just like wasn't, I don't know, y'all. I mean, it's a good question. I don't know. I want to read some more tweets. Right here, this one says that the Potomac group dynamic is so weird. Candice and Giselle don't give a f about each other. Candice and Ashley are feuding once again. Candice and Robin are at odds. Giselle and Robin don't like Wendy. Wendy doesn't mess with Mia, and Mia is just a known liar. This woman here by the name of Shoebiz says that I'm glad that Wendy said this because it gave Candice a chance to reaffirm what she was saying. But I've been saying these grown ass women to not understand colorism is not just about the color of your skin tone. It is this, sorry, it's backwards, discrimination against darker skinned people in society and the preferred or the preference of lighter skin. She's absolutely right. Except the whole part about Wendy. No, Wendy had no business saying nothing. This is from another tweet, says, why does Karen have to answer for why she doesn't like Chris, but Giselle and Robin can't explain their stupid hatred for Wendy? Mm. I mean, it's just a mess. It's the whole thing is a mess. The whole show is a mess. They need to just stop it. And I blame Andy Cohen. I blame Andy Cohen. I blame Andy Cohen. Y'all niggas keep letting him just drag y'all on all these shows. There's no black producers for these shows. So you got to sit here and explain colorism to a bunch of people. Like, you need black producers. You need black producers. You do. You need black producers. I'm sorry. I'm just reaffirm that you need to have black producers on shows like this. You can't just have white people just getting black people to reopen up wounds and scars for entertainment. Get some black producers on these shows, and black people, get off of these shows. Stop being so hungry for money that you're willing to sell yourself just to be on TV. And then you got to go through all this psychological torture, specifically Candice. You got to go through the psychological torture with these bird brain, mental vegetables all day, trying to explain to them why colorism is a thing and while their proximity to whiteness is a thing. Just stop doing this to yourself. All you're doing is just re-traumatizing yourself. If somebody like Candice had worked through all of her issues with, her skin, not to say that she has issues about her dark skin, but having to go through life and having to deal with that, and then you land on a show like this, and women are just like, oh, colorism's not a thing, and just perpetuating racism. It's like you're going to cost yourself thousands of dollars in therapy. Don't do it. Don't do that to yourself. That's dumb. Don't do it to yourself. It's dumb. It's dumb and it's bad psychologically. I need dark-skinned women, all dark-skinned women, no matter your nationality or your ethnic background. Stop going on these shows. Amara La Negra did the same thing when she was on the shows. First, she had people trying to gaslight her into thinking that, oh, she self-tans. You can look at Amara La Negra and look and tell that she's dark-skinned naturally. So then she had to go to her mother and dig up baby pictures of herself just to prove that she wasn't, and still they dog walk her. But the only thing in Amara La Negra, she's from Love and Hip Hop Miami that got canceled. The only reason why I'm not going to go to bat for Amara is because she actually practices La Santeria, and she is very dangerous. She's a very, 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 very dangerous individual because she practices black magic on people, and it's crazy. And they proved it time and time again in every single episode. She is not to be messed with. She deals with a lot of high priestesses, and she is a very toxic version of spirituality. So if you ever see somebody like Amara La Negra, do not come into her crosshairs. She is quite dangerous. Yeah. She is. She definitely, she puts root on people. And there was a couple of episodes people were like, I think she put root on me, and she did. She throw bones. She is not. Okay. Mm-mm. She throw bones. Okay, if you know what that means, you know what it means. She do. She practices La Santeria, and I've seen those episodes, and I think they're very much real. I don't think people play like that. Um, so hell yeah. This from Jacqueline says, Carlos King has been going in on Bravo's casting on Potomac. Has he? I follow him on TikTok. Let me get to his TikTok. Hold on. Let's see what he has to say.
Pandora's box was a flop. Now, look, no shade. Y'all could have zoomed Jacqueline and Sharice in the way y'all did Miss Diana Jenkins on Beverly Hills. Child, because what is happening with this show? Y'all let Karen dance around that stage like she was on Dancing with the Stars. She danced around every question. Y'all did not dig deeper into what Sharice was really saying. And let's be clear. Clearly, on my podcast, because allegedly Karen told the girls if y'all don't check Sharice for being on Carlos' podcast, allegedly, she didn't come to the reunion. No one is disputing that Giselle felt
Carlos.
uncomfortable. I think we're all wondering why it was never a conversation with your friend Candice. Giselle said out of her own mouth tonight, me and Candice were friends at the time. Why go to everyone else and express how you feel uncomfortable than the person that you are supposedly friends with? And this is the issue that we're having with this show. The only ones I think who really wants to give their reality to the show is Wendy and Candice. And I said, as child, even Mia. But Mia, you got me looking at you side-eye because I feel like Mia, who's a newbie, is so desperate being included in the Cool Girls Club that she truly doesn't understand that the reason why the audience is confused by you is because you have this inability to choose the side in which you really believe is real. Juan and Robin have an agreement. I believe that their marriage is a marriage of convenience, courtesy of the show.
Listen, because he got a lot more to say. Listen, he ain't said nothing but a word. If you don't realize that Juan and Robin's marriage is courtesy of the show, let me explain to you what that means. That means that not only does the show propagate them together, which means they work with each and every of their individual schedules. I'm talking about Robin and Juan, like, oh, can we get a scene with you guys together? Because they don't hang out together. I just want y'all to know that. They say they live in the same house, but the way their chemistry together, you would think that she just met this nigga on a Greyhound bus. For real. They get with their individual schedules, and can we get a scene with you and Robin and the kids? Okay, can we get a scene with you and Robin having lunch? Okay, can we get the fact that you got to schedule with both of them? And this is alleged. This is just my opinion. The fact that you got to schedule with both of them just to get together shows that their relationship is put together by the show. Okay. And again, we're going to go back to Robin doing that Patreon where she released the tea on their relationship, on her husband's alleged cheating. Andy Cohen didn't know about that. And Robin kept that a closely guarded secret. And that's why Andy Cohen is mad with her. Because if the show is the one holding your relationship together, then the show is the one who should have all the tea on your relationship. Okay? Everything Carlos said, 100%.
In my opinion, if Robin was to ever get fired from Potomac, I believe that her and Juan will be divorced in a couple of years. Allegedly. That's my opinion. This show is in trouble. I think Potomac needs to go through a Real Housewives of Beverly Hills pause to where they had like 2 to 3 months off to really figure things out. I don't want to see the same exact cast next season. And I'm going to say it. I don't.
I'm sorry, I'm with him. Get rid of all those bitches. All of them. They all got to go. That includes Candice. They got to go. Candice, you can tell her mental health is just declining second by second, having to deal with these women without brain cells. Mia, I don't know what that is. Jacqueline, same. Mia and Jacqueline, allegedly, seems like they just fucking each other. Okay, let's just take that lover's quarrel somewhere else. Giselle and Ashley, messy. All they do is talk about everybody else's failed or relationships because theirs failed. And when people were coming to them saying, hey, your man's a cheater, your man's this, they completely ignored and put mufflers on their ears. And now that their relationships are in shambles, they want to help destroy everyone else's. Wendy, I don't really know what she does, to be honest. I'm just be frank. I don't really know what she does. Or Karen. And they seem like lovely women, Karen and Wendy. I don't know what they do. Tell me what they do. Karen, I guess she's like the fairy godmother. She's just the one who gives the advice in stiletto heels, I guess. I don't really know what she does. I don't really know what she brings to the show, except that motherly figure, you know. They need to just pause the show and redo it. It needs a full reset. It needs a full reset. It needs a full reset because it's just the stories are just everywhere and no one likes each other. At least on Atlanta Housewives, and he says for Beverly Hills as well, at least they liked each other, you know, for the most part. But let's continue.
I think it's time for Ashley to go. I would like to see Jacqueline replace Ashley. If Juan isn't on this show full time next season, Robin, you got to go too, baby. I love you, Robin. Thank you for your services, Shawnee O'Neal boys. If I'm not getting Juan full time, I don't want you full time. Giselle, you must take off the producer hat. You must. You have to get back into the game. Listen, the crazy part is this. I love the show. I want to see y'all win. But at this route, y'all on the losing team. I am in disbelief that a show that has so much promise of comedy and interesting storylines and layers have turned into CSI Potomac Edition. It is all about scandals and allegations. Because this is not the show that we signed up for. It's not. This show is in trouble. Where do I begin?
Child. In trouble. The show is in trouble. If they don't figure out what they're doing with this show and the binders, everyone's got a fucking folder. It feels like I'm watching a TikTok live stream where everybody's just, you know, just throwing out each other's like social security numbers. It's ghetto. It's ghetto. The show is ghetto. Restart. First, get you a black producer who's not Giselle. Okay? Please. What is that? Get you a real black producer who's going to find very ghetto, very. Camilla said, I made it. Thank you, Camilla. Very ghetto. Get you a black producer who understands colorism and black dynamics that go on in the DMV area. Okay. Get all of these these high yellow brain dead women off the show who have no concept of nothing and recast it. Okay, please. And cut it loose with the Botox. I want to see a politician's wife. That's what I want to see on The Real Housewives of Potomac. You know, I want to see an actual first lady, a preacher's wife. I want to see other things. I don't want to see this. I want to see a politician's wife. I want to see a politician's daughter who's married. I want to see an athlete's wife. You know, that's what I want to see. The DMV is riddled with rich people of color. I want to see a woman who's married to a CIA agent. Quantico is right there. Virginia is right there. Y'all just bypassed everyone, and this is what you found. I want real substantive relationships and married people who are not out here swinging and stuff or whatever that the rest of that nonsense is. This from Brittany says, and I mean high yellow, right? It says, how did she become a producer anyways? That's just through negotiation. You could just negotiate that. If the show thinks that you are of value, you can negotiate anything. You can go negotiate how much money you get per episode. You can also negotiate producer rights. Producer rights gets a little bit more money. So yeah, she could have been wheeling and dealing in the back end, you know. I'm just a child SCI. I'm just saying actual wealth. Thank you. And not people whose houses are being foreclosed on and shit. I want to see like a DC housewife. That's what I want to see. I want to see a DC housewife whose husband is an analyst and he works for some intergovernmental organization. That is what I want to see. And she's got this beautiful DC house. You know, she's like 8 blocks away from the Obamas because, you know, the Obamas have a home in DC. I want to see that. I want to see somebody who's hobnobbing with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer. That's what I want to see. I want to see people who like give us Melania Trump. Okay, give us Melania Trump. Give us Melania's people. That's what I want to see in Potomac. Okay, I want to see real wealth, real stuck-up women, but who aren't messy and are just digging up people's foreclosures and stuff like that. That's weird to me. That's what I want to see. I want to see real DMV housewives. I want some politicians. I want all that. Okay. Okay, said don't hold your breath, child. I'm gonna hold it. This from Lexi says, Giselle been playing blonde so long that she actually become the stereotype of what that means. Literally. What's up, Miss? Is it Dogan? What's up, Miss Dogan? How you doing today? This from Amber says, what about a black fly lawyer and she's flies hell? That would be, yeah, that would be nice just to see something else. But I agree with Carlos King on his assessment. They need to pause the show for right now, just for right now, and they need to get rid of everyone, get rid of everybody. I mean, everyone's got to go. I want everyone out, go, leave, leave immediately, leave. Okay, leave. Hold on one second. Hold on, I gotta send this message. Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's get to GloRilla because I want to get to this article here. So if you guys don't know GloRilla, she is a singer, or I'm sorry, a rapper, and she had a concert in Rochester, New York, which led to 2 dead. Now, I guess the report had got updated. 2 people had passed away in a stampede, and I want to get into this article. It's really sad. She was doing a concert in Rochester, New York when this occurred. This comes from Yahoo News. It says GloRilla performed at the 65th annual Grammy Awards on Sunday, February 5th in Los Angeles, and a crowd pushed toward the exit of a concert in Rochester on February February 5th. No, this can't be right. That image is from February 5th. I'm sorry. It says the death toll rose to 2 on Monday following a stampede at a rap concert in Rochester, New York, that authorities said may have been triggered by unfound fears of gunfire. The Memphis rap star GloRilla and Finesse 2 Times had finished performing Sunday night at Rochester's Main Street Armory when people exiting just after 11 p.m. began to surge dangerously. Police Chief David M. Smith said at a news briefing on Monday, and I quote, "We do not have any evidence of gunshots being fired or anyone being shot or stabbed at the scene." Concert goer Ikea Hayes returned to the venue Monday to retrieve her things that she had left behind. Says, "I was watching my life flash before my eyes, and I still didn't even know what was going on." She told the Rochester TV station WHEC. She described being on the ground and just scared and praying like, you got to get up, you got to move. The police found 3 badly injured women in the auditorium, one identified as Rashida Belton, 33, of Buffalo, and she died at the hospital. Police announced the death of 35-year-old woman late Monday. Her name has not been released, but another woman remained in critical condition, police said. 7 additional people were treated at the area hospital for injuries that were not life-threatening. Then they said in a quote, which I don't know, the police chief said in a quote, "What began last night as a night of live music and fun for the performer GloRilla ended in a tragedy with 1 dead and 2 more fighting for their lives. While there was no evidence of gunshots," Smith said, police are investigating several possible causes of the stage surge, including possible crowd size, shots fired, pepper spray, and other contributing factors. The mayor, Malik Evans, called the fatal stampede totally unacceptable and promised to a thorough investigation into whether the venue operators had the necessary safety measures in place for that large crowd. The mayor said, and I quote, "We are going to hold people accountable for what happened last night, period." Though he cautioned that it's too early in the investigation to assume blame, he did say, "I intend to get to the bottom of this." There is no immediate response in emails requests sent to the Main Street Armory where the concert was held. And GloRilla, whose song F and F, Let's Go, with the Hitmaker, was nominated for a Grammy for Best Rap Performance, tweeted this, says, "I pray that everyone is okay." Fatal crowd surge that have been occurring, a disaster at concerts and larger events in the United States and around the world, including one in 2001 by concert by Travis Scott, which 10 people died. That's really tragic. The whole story is tragic. Yeah, the whole story is tragic because it's just GloRilla, and she had no idea what was going on. There's no evidence there was gunshots. So in my head, I can just only assume that what occurred was maybe while people were leaving the concert, that when how the roadies, the people who set up the amps and guitars and mics, maybe they were dismantling that stuff and it may have sounded like gunshots, like in a small space, dismantling a full stage and a set. It's all kinds of sound like stuff, So I'm wondering if it was just a misheard of her team dismantling her set, like taking her set down, taking her mic down, unplugging her amps and things of that nature. So I wonder if it had anything to do with that, and then people were like, "Oh, shots fired," and then people started to run. I'm confused, but I think that's what it could have been. I think it was just a off sound that scared people. This from YMV says GloRilla can't catch a break. Yeah, seriously. This from Ms. Dogan says, "Poor GloRilla, she'd been catching hell since she hit the scene." This from Cookie Wood says, "My cousin GloRilla can't catch a break." Why do you guys keep saying she can't catch a break? What does that mean? This from Tazia says, "I was working in an important career and I wouldn't risk it all by being on a trash show like Housewives. Reality shows are for people who don't have careers with no brains." Correct. And I think you're at the beginning of the show because we just saw you in here, but I agree with this. You're probably going to see this if you continue to watch it, and I hope you do. I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100% because those shows are for the bottom of the barrel gutter trash, and we like it, and that's okay, right? We never judged the people on Jerry Springer. right? But we knew that people with careers and promise and something going on for themselves probably weren't going to end up on the Jerry Springer show. But we never judged them. We're just like, okay, this is trash TV and that's acceptable. We like it. But why people with careers and houses and husbands and stuff at stake end up on these shows is beyond me. I think it's all about ego. I think most of these women are just egomaniac. I think anybody who's a part of these Real Housewife shows, specifically Potomac, they're all egomaniacs. That includes Candice. Okay, they're all obsessed with their image and their ego. That's how they end up on these shows. They're not going to end up on these shows to bolster their career. They're on these shows because they're egomaniacs. This from Cookie Wood says they're saying this because something happened at all of her shows. Oh, the bigger she gets, she'll get bigger venues. But until then, she's always just going to have these really tiny venues. There's nothing she can really do about it until she gets another hit out. I mean, To Tomorrow was a great, F&F was great. She's going to have more hits and more to come, but my question is, why was she not at Rolling Loud? How did Ice Spice get to Rolling Loud, but GloRilla didn't? Make that make sense for me, y'all. Because something about that just feels unfair and I can't figure out why. Okay, sorry about that. But yeah, so I would like to know why she I would like to know why she I don't know. I just feel like she should have been there. And that's just my personal opinion. Hold on one second, you guys. Okay. Sorry about that. Hold on. One more thing. I gotta do one more thing, y'all. Hold on. What's her name? Okay, sorry. I just have to make sure I did something. Okay. Yeah, so interesting. You said last week a fan snatched her wig off and kept it. That's not her really cutting a break. I don't think she actually cared. She tweeted about it and she posted on her Instagram story that she thought it was cute that the girl installed it. So I wouldn't call that a L for GloRilla. This from YV says GloRilla had liquor thrown on her, water bottles thrown at her, saying she wears dark under eye to hide her stains. Wig snatching, now this. I think y'all putting too much emphasis on it. I think all celebrities have bad moments, but y'all putting too much emphasis on it. Like, I don't know. There's something about the emphasis you guys are putting on it makes it weird. Spice was Grammy nominated last year. Was she? For what? This is from D. Will. I mean, I'm curious just for what. That's from D. Willis says, Glow gonna have to get her better verses. Keeping it real goes wrong way too often nowadays. This is from Lexi Glow says, child, not me putting GloRilla's name in my notes as I chart my clients. Why you put her name in your notes? This from our Virgil says, my niece went to a show that got canceled before it started. Several ODs and stabbings before the show. Lord. This from Cookie Wood says, no, I met the fan literally snatched her wig. I told you she's my cousin. Oh, she is. Oh, she's your cousin. Like blood. Like, what's that? Because Cookie, I'm not calling you a liar, but we gotta vet our sources. Shout out to GloRilla. We friends of the show in our head. I do like GloRilla. I've always liked her. I root for her because she is the underdog. In my head, she's the underdog. But I don't want to say she can't catch a break. I don't want people to think that, like, you know what I mean? I don't want that narrative to go out like she just can't catch a break. Don't say that. Just think positive. She is catching a break. She's had really successful hits. She's worked with really talented artists. This is just one tiny setback, but it's not gonna, it's not, I don't want it to make it seem like it's just this dark cloud hanging over her. Does that make sense? Oh, your daddy sad. I got you. I got you. This from D. Willis says, I understand her music is for the club lounge crowd, but she's going to have to invest in venues with metal detectors and stricter rules. There was no guns there, though. There was. The police said it. The police, D. Willis, police chief said it. There was no guns there. So they don't know if it was like sound effects. Like if it's a small venue, stuff echoes, you know? So what they're trying to say is that there was no gun. So the police are just confused as to why the stampede even occurred. People said, we heard gunshots, but they's like, but we checked. There's no bullet holes or gun shells. So y'all must have misheard the stage. You must have misheard an amp go off. You must have misheard someone's phone too loud. I don't know, but they misheard something. I think they just misheard something. The whole crowd. YV says it's about the constant hurdle she's going through publicly just to succeed. Her management needs to set her up with better venues and platforms. It is really the role of management to get her bigger and better venues every time. But you guys have to understand, when you book those shows, you have to front it first. You have to front those shows. So even if right, if GloRilla was able to get a slot at Coachella, right? You guys, Coachella doesn't build your stage, and they don't pay for your backup dancers, and they don't do any of that until you perform. So you have to have all of that ahead of time when scheduling events as big as Coachella, Rolling Loud, things like that. Those are multi-million-dollar sets. So if we looked at Beyonce's homecoming for Coachella, Beyonce probably invested for her stage talent, right? The dancers, the marching band, and those things, everything put together, her whole shebang. Beyonce probably put together about 50 million for that whole thing, but she made a pretty penny, right? But she doesn't get the pretty penny until she tells Coachella, I have all my stage and my equipment. Coachella's like, okay, when is it being delivered so they can be set up? But Beyonce also has to pay the staff to set it up. All of that has to be paid. That has to be fronted. I don't know if GloRilla has the capital to do stuff like that. You know what I mean? So she's going to have to start with smaller venues until her management can release more money to her. They got to release more money to her for her to be able to do it. Then granted, she does become indebted to the record label, but she can book bigger venues. But GloRilla doesn't have that GloRilla doesn't have $50 million sitting around for that, right? Even if we look at something a little bit more mid-scale, when Cardi B did Coachella, she didn't open Coachella, but she had a time slot in Coachella when she was pregnant with her first baby. I think there's an interview. I want to say it was a Rolling Stone interview, but she did an interview where she was concerned because she didn't know she had enough money for her set. She's like, you got to pay for that yourself. And that's how I found out about it. I didn't know that. Then doing a little bit more digging, I was like, oh, I didn't know they paid for their own set. I thought the set was just brought to you by Coachella, Rolling Loud. No, you have to build your own set. And Cardi B was concerned she wasn't going to have enough money, but it turns out she did, because remember, that check don't clear till you finish. So, she was concerned about that. But even if we look at Cardi B's set for Coachella, Cardi B probably paid about a good $5 million for her dancers. Her stage was small scale, but her dancers, her full set, and the people to set it up, and the people to take it down. So Cardi B paid a pretty penny for her set. Does that make sense? This is from Ms. Dogan, says, Nosy, I want to tell you what I found out about Grammy nominations. What'd you find out? This is from YNV, says, some of GloRilla's label mates were at Rolling Loud, even though she's pulling better numbers. They were even playing their music to hype the crowd. But again, you guys, if the people who are part of her same label were at Rolling Loud, again, you gotta invest in Rolling Loud. You have to have those things in place. So it could be entirely, and this is just speculative. If GloRilla says, I don't want to go to my label and ask them for a $5 million investment so I can build a stage at Rolling Loud, because she has to pay that back. That could keep her in a longer contract, right? One of those perpetual ones you can never get out of. So do you understand what I'm trying to say? So there's reasons why GloRilla is taking small scale versus big scale because, again, she doesn't have that kind of capital. So it has to come from someone. So if she says, I'm not like, hey, for example, little Lavender decided she wanted to go and ask the label for a $5 million investment so she could build a stage at Rolling Loud. Well, that puts little Lavender, whoever this other rapper is, this is just fake, $5 million in debt to that label. GloRilla's like, I'll choose smaller venues. I already own all of my equipment. I already have my full set. I don't got to worry about nothing. I can just make, 75,000, 80,000 for these tiny shows. Does that make sense to you? Versus putting myself in debt. It's all in the execution. So I want to make sure we know that. I want to make sure you know that. So I just want to keep that clear. So if there's a lot that goes into it, it's not just showing up, it's the money. So yeah, but that's all I have. We'll be back tomorrow at 11. We'll be back tomorrow for 2 shows. So we're doing 2 shows. We do a midday show because there's so much news. So we have to do a midday show. So tomorrow we'll be back at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, and 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern here at the Nosy Bystanders Live. So there's 2 shows. If you missed this the first time, we'll be back the second time. So we do both shows with more mess and more news. But I'm your host, Chief Nosy Bystander. Thank you again for watching us here at the Nosy Bystanders Live, either on Facebook or YouTube. Please, for the love of God, smash the like button on your way out. Don't be ignorant. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay. Bye-bye.